Hi everyone, TSW here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get geared on a Protection Paladin, ready to raid, ready to do heroics as quickly as possible. We are going to be interweaving attunements. We are going to be interweaving mostly attunements and quests, easy quests to get good gear that is good enough for you to make a solid tanking set to get you into the raids and heroics ASAP. So without further ado, some honorable mentions before we start the Outland experience. Superior Wizard Oil. Anytime you're tanking in the Burning Crusade, you want to try and grab this and use it on your weapon. It just makes tanking easier with extra spell damage. And if you are going to farm something, Figurine of the Colossus will really help you get Crush Immune if you have time to farm Shattered Halls at the end. At level 60 in pre-patch or currently pre-patch, if you're Alliance, you need to basically get Starline's Impending Scarab if you can. This is probably the single best item that you can get as a Paladin for this pre-raid level of gear, because it makes crit immunity easier and crush immunity so much easier. So we've now entered Outland. We've gone through the Dark Portal, and straight away we are thinking, what gear can we get to have a complete set at level 60 to start raiding and doing heroics? Like to do heroics, this is such a good set. I'm quite pleased with myself how efficiently you can do this. So you can see the quest chain on the right hand side, and it ends in Cruel Intentions. You might already have done this quest or most of it whilst leveling anyway. It's literally the initial quest chain that you get when you enter Outland. Okay, you just need to be mindful that if you are leveling as Ret, for example, that at the end you don't pick the DPS trinket instead of the tank trinket, excuse me. You cannot get the tank trinket if you have already got the quest reward for the DPS trinket. Okay, so keep that in mind. So we're finally on the final quest now. Now it's a long quest chain, but hopefully you've done half of it already. So killing this level 63 elite at the end, it's maybe soloable at level 70, but it's a very popular quest. So you can soon use general chat or the looking for group tool to find yourself a group and to kill the level 63 elite. So we've got the Cruel Intentions Regal Protectorite. It gives you a solid amount of defense rating and also an on use for 900 HP. So think about it as like a mini kind of Hellstone effect. It boosts your HP just a little bit. So it's also not bad for leveling even. It's just like, a little bit of extra HP every now and then. So level 63 or thereabouts in Zangarmarsh, we can think about our tank belt. Now this is another item that I think is slept on by so many people. It's so easy to get, and I'll show you just how easy it is to get. So it's a two-part quest. The first part has you kill these threshers under the water. You also kindly are given a potion of water breathing. So chug that and you can stay underwater and do the entire quest without coming back up for air. That's the easy part. Or is it? The second quest is killing Terrorclaw. Oh, also, if you're Alliance, in the North base for the Alliance hub, there's a practically a mirrored version of this quest, okay? So it basically has you do the same thing. So we kill a level 63 non-elite and get the amazing quest belt. The honourable mention is Shatari's Vindicator's Waistguard. This is a very long quest chain that at the end you need to do Mechanar and Botanica. So if you have an extra 4 hours or so to do Mech, Botanica and the quest chain, you can do, and then you get a significantly better belt. But if you want speed and efficiency, that's what we're focusing on today. Get the green belt and then do a Kara, do some heroics, and then when you have additional time at the end perhaps, then go for the really long quest chain Shatari belt. Speaking of really long quest chains, here's the really annoying escort quest. And yes, you don't have to follow the NPC all the way around. You can just stay here and you'll eventually get the quest completed. So this is Old Hills Bad Foothills. You can do this at level 66. That's the minimum level required. And this is the quest chain on the right hand side. You do need to do this quest chain in order to get into Black Morass, and you do need to get into Black Morass to get your Kara attunement key, and you do need your Kara attunement key to get into Kara. So this is building in the efficiency on the route to getting your Paladin geared, okay? And also after this, we're going to be starting the Kara attunement quest as well, and that's getting woven in to this gear progression path. So we're handing in our quest here at the end of Black Morass, and we're getting these shoulders. Are these shoulders pre-raid bis? No. Are they good shoulders? They're okay. But what they are super easy to get, and you're guaranteed to get them on your journey to being Kara attuned. So they're like an automatic pickup, if you like. So it doesn't really get more efficient than that. And are they good enough to wear? With the rest of the gear that we will be having at the end, yes, they are. So we've got the shoulders. And then to finish up, we even get given the quest for Black Morass at level 66. However, you need 68 to get into Black Morass. So some of you may have thought, oh, I can just buy BOEs. Yes, you can. Fell Steel gloves are fantastic, as well as Cloak of Eternity. But if you want to avoid getting BOEs, you can go for Spiritualist Gauntlets, follow this quest chain, and then the follow-up is for Spiritual Gauntlets, as well as this cloak as well from a Netherstorm quest chain. But if you can get Fell Steel gloves, you should, because they're fantastic, and the Cloak of Eternity is also a much better pick if you can. So speaking of Kara attunement, we're going to blast through the initial questing of the Kara attunement and then go straight into Sethic Halls, okay? The mob outside Sethic Halls gives us a quest to kill the first boss and free his brother. That's all you've got to do, and you can get yourself a phenomenal neck with high stamina and high defense. Great. And then optionally, you can clear the rest of Sethic Halls and get yourself the Shadow Labs key. I say optional because you can, as a ghost, walk through the gate to Shadow Labs. You can also get feared in a duel through the gate to Shadow Labs, or you can just wait and have someone on the other side press the lever and let you in. Anyway, once you are through the gate to the Shadow Labs, pick up these two quests, and we're going to do a quick Shadow Labs. We're also going to be doing our Kara attunement. At this stage, we need the first fragment of the key. So this is efficiency right here. So we're getting these quest wrists that are phenomenal. We're going to also be looting these soul devices as part of the quest. You need 5 of them. This is what they look like. This isn't necessarily a Kara attunement guide. It's just a happy accident. Luckily, we get Adamantite Figurine, which is a very good tank trinket, but I'm not going to consider it as the gear set because it's a drop from a boss. It might drop, it might not drop. So I'm not including it. I want to have easy to attain items that don't require RNG. It's just quest, 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 and a little bit of reputation, but we'll get onto that later. So hand in your quest with the book. You do get these boots. They are very basic boots, I would say. They're good for leveling, but not really good enough for raiding with. But if you want a stopgap, those boots from that quest are that. So we kill the first fragment elemental. We hand in our quests, get the wrists, we get the boots, even though we will be upgrading the boots. And we're handing in to Khadgar our first key fragment. Now we get the second part, which involves going to Alcatraz and Steam Vaults. So we're at Steam Vaults. We can get this helmet from killing the last boss in Steam Vaults. We're going to go to the Steam Vaults anyway as part of our Kara attunement. So this is very efficient. So we click on this to get our next fragment spawning elemental. We kill the first boss, easy peasy, and then we forget to click on the console, but we'll come back and click that. Felsteel Helm is also an alternative, and if you're very lucky or you have extra time to farm, Devil Shark Cape. Felsteel Helm is slightly better, I'd say, and Devil's Shark Cape is actually pre-raid best in slot. So we killed the last boss, and unfortunately he doesn't drop the cloak. Oh well, we can live without it. We hand in the quest for the helmet, and we cry that we didn't get the Devil Shark Cape. Again, we could farm it later if we wanted to. So we're heading to Shadowmoon Valley. Now the first portion of this quest will require the slow 60% flying mount. Okay, so at some point we're going to be flying in the air and talking to an NPC. We're going to get a new shield. A notable alternative is the BOE shield. That is not so good, but it can be worth a lot of money because it's the highest BOE rare defense rating tank looking shield in the game. So sometimes that can sell for like 300 gold just because people want a tank shield without doing this quest chain. But they probably don't even know about this quest chain. So at this point, you want to get 60% mount. Talk to this NPC in the sky, and at this point you probably want to be looking for a group or looking for more for the quest Zulu Head the Whacked. Okay, this is a notoriously difficult quest chain, and you will essentially need a full 5-man group. Okay, so we're here collecting the Nethervine something or other, Nethervine crystals. You need 15 of them, so this quest can take a while. And as you see, to get to the floating island, you do need a flying mount. Okay. And then for the end portion of this quest chain, you need a 300% flying mount. So that can be a bit expensive, and I don't expect everyone to get there. So I will show you an alternative as well. So we're freeing these nether drakes, and we need to do 5 of them to get the quest complete. When we have the quest complete, we fly back to this flying dragon, and this is Zulu Head the Whacked quest. This mob is very difficult. If you drag him into the, like there's 2 doorways behind him, drag him into one of those and kill him, because there are archers that will just attack your healer, because most likely they're highest on threat, and it can be very difficult. So if you drag him into the room, you line of sight the archers, and it's much easier. So we're finishing the last quest. We're getting Ally of the Netherwing. This is part of the Netherwing pre-quest to get you the Nether Drake if you wanted to continue grinding the rep. But we're here for gear, not for mounts. So you have the option between the spell damage shield and the agility shield. Now all of the warriors will go straight for the agility shield, but some paladins might get the spell damage shield. But if you want to maximize your tankiness and have extra avoidance, the shield with agility is the winner. Okay, if you want a little bit more spell damage and threat, you can go for the spell damage one. So now we need 300 flying, okay, to progress to hand in these quests. Once we hand in those quests to the Netherwing NPCs, we need to kill a level 72 elite that has like 30,000 HP. It's maybe soloable, but you might struggle. Kill this mob to get the quest item to start the next quest chain. A job unfinished. And then you need to kill another high level elite that is about as difficult as the last one, and some little small adds as well. Once you kill them, you get some phenomenal boots. These boots are crazy. See the stats of them here. 22 stamina, 2 gem sockets, defense and block value, I think. So these are great. If you don't have access to the epic flying mount, you can try and do a mana tombs whilst leveling and do the escort whilst in the dungeon, okay? It does take a lot of time if you're not planning to do a mana tombs anyway, but at the end of a mana tombs, this quest is like the boots are phenomenal from the mana tombs escort quest. So whilst we're still in Shadowmoon Valley, we can do another famous quest, Path of Conquest. This is another quest that you can just looking for more, find people, or use the looking for group tool and get a full 5-man, 4-man group pretty straightforward, pretty easily. So you speak to the NPC at the Alliance Hub or the Horde Hub, and you discover this area. You click on the flare to continue the quest as you go along. This is your quest giver and quest receiver as you go through. These 2 mobs, the elite here that I'm going to loot, and the elf next to him that I'm going to loot for the quest item, don't kill these as you're doing the initial quests. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait for them to respawn, okay? Don't ask me how I know that. Or you can layer as well. I might do a whole video on abusing layers because it can just make everything significantly more efficient. But speaking of efficiency, this next quest I don't really like, to get 10 tabards, because they don't drop quite as frequently as I would like. But speaking of tabards, when you get to the final quest chain here, you need to wear the quest given tabard. So as this quest, you're given a tabard. You need to wear this tabard or you will not get quest objectives for the quest. So I need to kill 5 of these Crazed Colossus. And again, you must wear the tabard or else you're not going to get credit for killing the NPCs. So when we're done with that quest, we come back to where it all began, hand in our quest and grab ourselves a really nice tanking ring. That quest does take a bit of time, but it's not so bad, and if you get a group of 5, you'll smash through it in 40 minutes probably. So changing gears a little bit, we're going to get a really easy item. So we're in Area 52 in Netherstorm, and we're going to pick up this wanted quest for the servo. So this is a Again, it's not a fantastic chest, but we're not looking for the absolute best of the best. We're looking at super easy to get items that are enough to get us into raids and into heroics, okay? And this is one of those items that is so quick to get. Look how quick it takes to grab this chest piece. This Arcane Annihilator might be soloable, but if you grab someone to help you as a 2-man, it's easy. So it's touch and go whether or not you can solo it, but with 2 people, it's easy. So we're going to hand in our quest and grab ourselves, like, what? That's like a 3-minute, 4-minute quest, and we've got ourselves a chest piece with spell damage, stamina, and defense rating. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. So our gear is starting to come along. We're more than halfway there. Let's go. So we're going to be finishing off this portion of our Kara attunement. We're going to get the next fragment from Arctraz. Now, this does require the Arctraz key to get inside, but again, someone else can open the door for you. So we're kind of skipping getting the key ourselves. Interact with the arcane container and grab our last key fragment. Yahoo! Now, you could continue Arctraz, but I don't want to because we want to do this quickly. Talk to Khadgar, hand in our quests, and we're going to be sent to Black Morass. So, guess where we're going next? Black Morass, here we go. So there are 2 quests here. One to get our Kara attunement key, so we can enter Kara. And the second is to get a really underrated tanking ring. The tanking ring is one of the best avoidance rings in the entire expansion. Like, it's probably top 4 of the entire expansion for avoidance on your ring. So very, very good. And you can get it so early. Just because it doesn't have stamina on it, I think a lot of people write it off. But if you're looking for a set of gear to get you crush immunity, or if you're doing a lot of AoE tanking or AoE grinding or boosting, it's a ring that is so good because stamina doesn't really do much, but avoidance does everything, more or less, when you're tanking 30, 40, 50 mobs at once. So we're finally getting through a Black Morass. It takes a long time, even if you're one-shotting all the mobs like I am. Talk to the NPC here, and you will get your Kara key. Bosh, we are now Kara attuned. Talk to this NPC at the entrance to get the tier, the Andormu's tier. This is what we want. A little bit of defense rating, a big amount of defense rating, a big amount of dodge, and a decent chunk of shield block value. So this is a high dodge and high shield block ring. No stamina though, so it looks a bit funky if you look at the tooltip, but it's good. Trust me. Speaking of finishing our Black Morass run, you will want to farm Black Morass 4 or 5 more times until you get revered. But it's worth it. This is the one grind in this gear guide that you do want to do, because getting revered gives you the helmet enchant, it gives you the legs, and it gives you the weapon. These are all S tier, A tier items to get pre-raid, and they are all from the same reputation, funnily enough. It's so worthwhile because you're not only, 2 birds, 1 stone, you're 3 birds, 1 stone, 3 items, 1 rep. And it's also, coincidentally, the easiest rep to get out of all the dungeons. So it's well worth it. So we're in Netherstorm now. Talking to this NPC, we've just killed some shadow elementals. And then the follow-up is to talk to the Drake to send us on a flight path. Use the quest item to bomb the building. After bombing the building, we get the group quest. There are 2 aspects of the group quest. One is to interact with the escort NPC. You'll see here, I interact with the quest NPC and I get a quest objective done at the top of the screen. That is one objective of the quest. I stress this because if you're doing this in a group, in a 5-man, everybody needs to interact with that mob to get that part of the quest done. Okay, so that's half of the quest done. The second half is after we've spoken to the NPC again. So this isn't part of the quest. You just need to speak to him to say we're ready to go. The last part of the quest is to kill this big Dimensius in the middle of this building. So you probably do want a group for this. I don't think you can solo him, but it shouldn't be too difficult. But finding a healer should be easy because there's a really good healing male chest piece, and all tanks will probably want to do this quest just for the great defense rating Trinket. So we've grabbed the Trinket finally. we have an entire set. That didn't take too long, did it? Well, a lot of it was fast forward, and a lot of it I was one-shotting mobs. But I really think you can do this in one day. The best item out of any class, any spec from Badge of Justice is this Libram. If I remember, you get an extra 8% block chance when you use Holy Shield. 42 block rating. So you don't strictly need this shield to be doing heroics or to be doing Kara, but it is the single best badge item to enhance your tanking in heroics and raids. And if you do have this Libram, you're going to be not far off crush immunity. And when you have 102.4% combined avoidance, you are crush immune, and that means that you're not going to be taking big spike damage from the bosses, and that's essential if you're tanking bosses. It's not essential for doing heroics though, however. So I'm going to add up some extra gems, meta gem, throw some defense gems in my gear to further push my avoidance so that I am closer to uncrushable if I'm tanking some bosses in Kara potentially. Obviously as a paladin I'm going to be tanking lots of trash, but Nether Spite in particular I'm going to be tanking. And maybe if there's a warrior or a druid that isn't tanking very well, fights like Prince Malchazar at the end can be very good if you have a high avoidance geared paladin at the end. So I'm just playing around with some extra items. The Scarab, Stylene's Impending Scarab, as mentioned at the beginning, and the Figurine of the Colossus. Those trinkets are just crazy, okay? But you need level 60 raiding and Blackwing Lair, or to be farming Shattered Halls. If you still want extra avoidance, you can use an Agility Flask, you can use an Agility Scroll, you can use the defense rating from a Flask of Fortification, also buffs like Blessings of Kings, Mark of the Wild, Agility Totem even gives you about 1%, a little bit over 1% avoidance, 1% dodge from that agility. So all of these things add up. So we're right on the cusp of being crush immunity. However, if you're needing to tank raid bosses, you will want those extra buffs just to push you over to the edge to get you crush immune. So I hope this video has been informative and quick, and I hope that you're able to share this on your guild Discord or send it to someone who knows playing Prot Paladin, and or maybe you're Paladin main specking Ret or Holy and you just want to get a offset really quickly with dual spec. Follow this video, and half of it you'll have already done anyway as your attunement, and hopefully you can grab the quest items already, because a lot of the items aren't very good for the other specs, and you can save a lot of time on your off spec tank set if you focus on these tank items as you're going through the attunement and the quests initially. Anyway, enough yapping. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, thumbs up. If you want to see some more amazing TBC content just like this, please subscribe, and I'll see you later. Ta-ta.